Hello. How is it going? So I wanted to brag on God about how much He's used my workplace to grow me, and He's used all of them, and it truly, truly amazes me. So a little bit of background. I started ballet when I was 10, and I never wanted to work a traditional job. I definitely didn't want to work in an office, and I definitely didn't want to work in accounting. And I can tell you, I'm doing all three of those things right now. So, it's very interesting, first off, how I got into accounting without an accounting degree, number one. And then number two, it's very interesting how God is growing me while I'm still in accounting. So cool. So, I started this current job May of last year, and I was an admin in the service department. And as they were transitioning to make me permanent, they are required by law to open up the job to other applicants. When they did that, a gal applied who'd previously been in that department. They wanted both of us, and she was the one that was particular about wanting the service department. So they said, okay, we need to take her in here, but we also want to keep Megan. Where do we put Megan? So it was this big thinking process, where do we put Megan? And as this is going on, it was January of this year, my first week back at work. I don't even know how to explain it without going into detail, but it was like the Lord's hand of protection was lifted a little bit, and I experienced the way that men wanted to interact with me. And it was a bit more for my chemistry than I could handle. And I really didn't talk about it, but I noticed everything that was going on. And it's not like this was one individual, it was just a whole handful, literally a handful of individuals, guys, and they're just like, okay, that's a lot from all of them. This is, my little processing meter is broken now. So I kept this to myself, and my cousin emailed me and was like, what is going on at work? With like multiple question marks. And I was like, the Holy Spirit is speaking to her. I need to tell her the truth. So I wrote her this very honest, long email explaining all of the stimulus that was happening. I was just like, oh my gosh. My little kitten brain is just like on fire. And I told her point blank, I don't know how I can stay at my job. If this is how it's going to be, I don't know how I can stay here. Wrote her that point blank. A few days later, they pulled me aside. They tell me about wanting to transition me from the service department into the accounting department. The accounting department is like the convent. We are the only department that has a woman head besides marketing. And as much as I love social media, I couldn't do it for my company for a living because I'm too invested in it over here, so no. But accounting lets me learn all of these business sides. And so it was very interesting when they gave me that offer. I was like excited and torn all at the same time because I loved the service department and it was awesome. But at the same time, I'm like, A, God is giving me a way out, and B, I get to learn about accounting. And C, I get to learn about accounting with no accounting degree. So, January 12th, my manager walked me over and transitioned me to accounting, and he said, it's like, I'm sending you to school, you're gonna be okay. I'm like, okay. And then I was made permanent in my company a month later, and I've been there ever since. So, whole new realm. Learning all these things about taxes and just international wire transfers and a whole bunch of crazy stuff. Now, what's really fun about my company is that we do the invoices. Our owner is very ambitious, so we actually do the paperwork, do the books for 3 different companies. Well, as of like August 1st in this month, and then as of August 1st, and then as of January, we're going to be doing the books for not only a 4th, but a 5th company. Do you know how many options there are for printing the wrong person's information on the other person's check and posting this invoice from this vendor to the wrong account at the other company and then paying it with that? Do you know how many options there are for error in this? It's crazy. But somehow, by the grace of God, we keep a lot of this straight. And basically I'm maxing out, slowly but surely I'm going to max out the capabilities for my Outlook, because like everything is like color coordinated now, and I've got, when the wire transfers come in, I've got an auto thing that picks up, oh, this says it's from so-and-so, so that means it gets a blue sticker. Oh, this came from this girl, and it CC'd, came from this auto machine, and it CC'd that girl, which means that she sent it, which means it's an expense report, so that gets this color. So everything is, so I know that I don't have to read those, and I can filter them out, and just like, and I'm learning my keyboard shortcuts for Control-Shift-V. If you have an email open, opens them moving it to another file folder dialog. And then you can actually use your keyboard to select that I want it to go to the M folder or the J folder, and it's so wonderful. So I just learned that this week, and it's wonderful. Outlook shortcuts, everyone. Yes. Go hit your Google butt search. Yes. Okay, so where were we? So not just 3 companies, but 5. We're going to be doing the books for 5 companies. So I had the one company when I came in was transitioning to paperless, and I can confidently say that as of this month, just everything works. And we have a system that keeps it working, and it's wonderful. And I gave a short email to my manager, and I said, I print out this report of the receipts, and then I send it to them, and then it helps them match everything up, so I get the invoices that our accrued liability is like here instead of here. Make that here instead of here. But anyways. And I was like, and currently our accrued liability is this, and it's just so awesome, and I'm just writing this to you. I was much more professional than this, but the enthusiasm was definitely there. And it was like, I'm just writing this to you so that you can know, and it's documented for me, and we can celebrate this. And she's like, this is good. We need to apply this to the other company. I'm just like, slowly but surely, we can do this. And the way that the other company has... And it's so interesting how different groups of people, they use the same system with different purposes, or slightly different focuses, and they use the same fields for different pieces of information. So within the groups, you have the different companies, and then within the companies you have different departments, and they all have like their each own subculture. Gosh, I can't talk today. I am a little stressed out. I have pimply things. Not that you can see them much, but I have pimply things. So it's been very, very interesting and fun and wonderful negotiating and navigating all of that and getting stuff done and building systems. When I say building systems, I mean like this company's executive assistant doesn't want to be set up in the paperless document system, and people haven't asked her to be set up in that system. So how do we know that the invoices in the paperless document system have her approval on them? So I'm teaching the girl who stores the invoices, when you get them from Cindy, clip Cindy's email to that invoice in the paperless thing, and then we'll know that this invoice is hunky-dory because we've got her email over here that sent it in to us. And then it works, and everybody's paperwork is covered, and and I love making things easier for my coworkers, and that's what sending the receipt list does, and that's what so, and then I'm also super nerd about all the computer programs, so the more that I learn and the more I figure things out, I can pass on tidbits of, hey, this makes life easier over here, try this, or this, or especially because I see the results of everybody's work, so the way that I give feedback is really, really important. And accounting people are known for giving nasty, terse feedback and being like, this needs to be different, fix it, boom, email, send. Accounting people, please, have mercy on us. And, yeah, I just learned early on that you do what accounting tells you to do, and then they're happy, and then they leave you alone. What's very important is that from the accounting mindset, if you can figure out ways to make their lives easier, they will so appreciate it that they'll turn around and make your life easier. Which is kind of the whole point. Because then we get more work done in less time with less stress, and we get to go home with smiles on our slightly pimpled faces. Oh my gosh. So, I guess all that's to say is that I just love how God is so faithful about putting us where we're supposed to be, protecting us in the way that we're there, teaching us why we need to be there, sometimes before or after. So if you're in a job that you don't like, and you don't know why, but God's keeping you there, there's a reason. There is a reason. Promise. So anyways, and I've been there. I've been in jobs where it's like, this is killing me. Why am I here? And there was a reason. There's always a reason. Okay, I'm looping. So, God is so faithful about just all of it. And yeah, maybe have the title of assistant manager was a little bit more prestigious than administrative assistant in the accounting department. But I'm just so thankful that where I'm at right now is a place where I get to grow as a person. I get to both professionally and personally. And yeah. So even if you don't ever graduate your different jobs, look at what you're able to do now versus what you were able to do 2 years ago or even 6 months ago. The way that I think through logistics is super different from 6 months ago. Super different from a year and a half ago. I had a phone call with somebody about doing business. And he's like, oh my gosh, thank you for all these questions. And I'm like, I would not have been asking you these questions 2 years ago. That's how much both of these office jobs have changed me. And one of the things that's really, really liberating is realizing how a lot of business is just, the idea of business management, and there's all these fancy titles on all of these different degrees, and what do they do? And to be perfectly honest, the way that you do business is having patience and being mature and not venting the stress onto other people. And then giving them what they need to empower them to do another job, even if it's just your coworker. And it's like, hey, I figured out this spreadsheet that makes this do this faster, and this is the folder it's in on the thing. Let me know if it helps you, or, stuff like that. And not doing that in a bossy way, because if you're thinking in the back of your head, oh my gosh, these people are idiots, it's going to bleed through and people are going to feel judged. So you have to go at it with the mind super stressed out, and they don't get a lot of support doing their job, so there's a reason why they're trying, but they're still giving you, sloppy stuff. So what's a way of doing it that you can figure out to make it easier for them? So just keeping in mind that people are stressed out of their minds is really, really important. Because that's the only way that I remember to have patience sometimes. It's like, okay, this person is thinking about 7 other things, and if one of them goes wrong, we might lose a customer. And that's income. My job as an accountant is to protect the income that's in. Their job is to keep it coming in. And so we're both important, just on other opposite sides of the coin. So don't judge the other side of the coin. Yeah. Funny story, and then I'll cut it out. So, my coworker who I eat lunch with, because all the accounting people eat lunch at their desks, and it keeps them in the bubble. And they don't realize the culture outside, and it doesn't, because I eat lunch at the sister company that I help do the invoices for, I know what's going on at that company, and I can feel the vibes of the tension or whatever. So I'm sitting, having lunch with my gal, in the other company. There's 3 of us who sit together, and she is saying how when people talk behind my back, I remember that it is just wind. And I'm thinking to myself, and I'm thinking, you know what? I would rather cut wind and let out a toot than make wind this way. And I said it in such a way that made her laugh, and it was really awesome. So then a couple days later, I had one of those days where God just does this. It's like, okay, you are searching my soul. Let me feel the soul stretch. Yeah. Peace, son, if you've ever felt the soul stretch. So I'm feeling the soul stretch, and I'm really wanting to vent about it and talk about, oh my gosh, this is ridiculous. So-and-so and so-and-so said such and such. And then as I'm thinking this, I cut the cheese and I smell my own fart, and I remember how I would rather cut wind than make wind. Yeah. I'm never gonna forget that. My name's Meg. I love my Jesus, and I believe in living inside out. Live it.